Challenge your potential and the sky's the limit. Join me, Emily Ibbott, in a diary to empower. From a starting point of a love for dance, my life has evolved, but along the way, I've learned so much in how we develop, learn and grow from those around us to elevate us even further on. Be inspired and be open to learn, and no limit will ever exist. Come along with me on my own journey in personal development, but with guests who have empowered me and are still doing so in my own journey. Hey, how are we doing? And welcome back. So today I have the lovely Faye with me. Faye is one of my clients, and we're just gonna have a little chit chat just about how the gym is sort of a place for everyone, and also like how much the gym what it can do for us and our mental headspace, which I think is so important as well. And just getting people to talk about those things and how we can sort of really overcome them and just feel better, and that things day by day, we don't need to sort of overlook too into it. And just over time, things can feel really good. So, hey.
Hello.
So obviously we started... It feels like yesterday, but it was not. It was October, November.
Definitely,
time.
At least a year's dedicated training, consistent training. First time ever.
Yeah, and it's exciting. So I kind of want to start with just a little bit. Obviously, we were sort of chatting about sort of you and your journey. So, sort of, how did you come to find PAG? So Faye comes with me to Physique Architect gyms in Fleet. And yeah, what made you walk through the doors, I guess?
Well, I don't really know what made me walk through the door on that day, because I was living quite a isolated life at the time. I wasn't in a great place mentally. I didn't have a lot of confidence. But the gym was newly opened and it was right opposite my house, which helped.
Like literally, it's like 2 minutes?
Exactly, so no excuses not to go. And one day I just walked through the door and the vibes were just so immediately so good. Everyone was so friendly. Everyone was laughing. It felt like a real community gym experience. And I think it wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting it to be a real showy environment.
Yeah. And I think from the outside, it can look like that, and people have that perception because I guess like there's loads of bodybuilders in there, and like I say to everyone, they're all teddy bears, and they're obviously the kindest people. And in PAG, there's like coffee area, like reception area, and someone is always on the desk, and it's very much like, hey, how you doing? How's your day been? Like, it's friendly from the offset, and I think that just kind of calms everyone's vibes about it. Obviously, you have the gym itself, but it's not scary.
No, definitely not. Everybody's happy to see me whenever I come in, which was at the time amazing for me, amazing for my confidence.
So did you know you just needed or wanted to do something?
Was
it movement you knew, or?
I think I could feel myself on a slippery slope getting worse.
Okay.
My mental health was getting worse and worse. And I knew I needed to make a change. And I don't know, call it divine intervention or whatever.
Yeah.
But that day that I walked through, I got the perfect reception. I got exactly what I needed. And I just started showing up every day.
Yeah. And when did you walk through PAG to when we started?
Maybe 2 months.
Oh, okay. It was a good couple of months. Yeah.
But I mean, as much as I was never made to feel stupid or anything like that. No one's looking at you. No. Everyone's just focused on what they're trying to do. Yeah. But, you know, I was a beginner, a real beginner. I needed some support. I needed some coaching. I needed to feel more confident using the equipment. And then I met this one.
Yeah, we have a whale of a time. And I think as well, it's so important for me to highlight, and sort of why I asked you to come on, how much your journey has improved. And I don't think you give yourself enough credit for how much it has. And just in where you're at now, because this hasn't happened overnight. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's very steady. And we said, even on our like first session, we started, okay, let's see where things are at. Let's see where your mobility is at. And obviously you suffer with hypermobility.
Yeah, so I had a bit of a physical challenge.
So, and you were really worried about that. We highlighted it, and obviously it's so important to highlight when you start with a trainer, anything like that. And actually it's not ever been a problem since, because obviously we've worked so much on the things to improve the strength around it, and obviously long term over time that really builds up.
Yeah, I think I was always scared of hurting myself, and I just really didn't believe that I was going to have the strength to overcome the hypermobility.
Yeah.
I thought, well, I'm never going to be able to pick up those heavy weights because I'm going to end up getting injured.
Yeah.
It's just my body's not going to do that, but my body is doing it.
Yeah.
And I never.
And did you
thought it
feel
would.
like, do you think as well, like with sort of where you came from and just sort of feeling very delicate sort of in the mind a little bit, that you probably put that down on yourself as well to come into the gym thinking, oh no, I won't be able to do any of the big stuff. Actually, it's just
your self-worth just suffers. You start thinking
the worst of it all.
I'm getting older. I'm not going to be fit enough to do this. I'm not brave enough. I'm not confident enough. But it slowly just starts brick on brick.
And also to sort of, we'll go back, but to kind of skip forward, what Faye is now doing in sessions, like we've just trained 3 times this week, on 3 separate days, not in one day. And it's like what you're lifting and how you're lifting and how much more confident and how gassed you are, like after exercises, like that's how it should feel.
Yeah.
And where do you feel like how that developed as you went through? So from when we started very steady, it was bit by bit, and just sort of when did you start thinking,
I'm getting good at this.
This is cool and I'm feeling really good for it? Like when did you sort of notice that shift?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think I immediately knew that it was a safe space for me to be in. So I quite quickly thought I need to keep doing this.
Yeah.
But I have to say, it was probably quite a long slog of me trying.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, progress just started really coming together. I would actually say the biggest changes that I've noticed have been in the last sort of 4 months.
Yeah.
But now it feels
Which
like
is
those changes are every week.
Yeah, hugely. Yeah. And it's always that thing we say that, you know, after a week you don't see any changes. After 2 weeks you probably won't see any changes. After 3 weeks, 4, 5, 6, you know, it really takes that long time of consistency. Now, were there times that you were like, oh, PT?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, you can think that. You can think that. You know, we all have those times. Like, I don't always like.
I wish we could go to the bar instead of the bar. Yeah, but
yeah, and it's and that's really shifted as well because. And now you're like, oh, you see me loads, like
I know,
and that's what's so great. And I think from my perspective, like seeing how much you love it and like how much you know it's doing good for you. Like, when did you notice the mental shift a little bit? Well, I mean, rather than the physical.
I think sometimes you just coast along, but it was only this week you said to me, "You'd never dream of not showing up to training now, would you?" And I thought. No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Somebody did say to me at the beginning, soon it's going to feel like brushing your teeth, and it does.
Yeah.
It's just another thing in my day that has to be done, and I'm glad that I'm doing for myself.
And also the benefits of it, like people know you in the gym now, like you know, everyone chats to everyone, and you have confidence in speaking about how much you love the gym to other people, and that I guess you wouldn't even have thought of to start with.
Definitely. I love it. I'd want to drag them all in kicking and screaming, because I just think I feel so much better.
Yeah.
You know, 12 months ago I was scared to go to the supermarket.
Yeah.
Now I'm here, I'm talking to you publicly about my mental health and my journey, and I just think it really was massive building blocks for me to get there. Yeah.
And it's taken time. Like nothing's quick in that sense. And I think we need to be kinder to ourselves in that sense. And, you know, it's prominent in today's day and age. And so many people, like, you know, we've all got these little things that we don't feel good about. And you know, it can get better and we can also help improve that. But it's sort of making that you wanting to make that change as well, which probably there must have been something to be like, okay, I need to do something. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to start something.
Yeah, what I'm doing now, it wasn't working. So I was like, let's just, and I mean, the benefit.
Was it more like getting out the house?
Yeah. Yeah. I would leave my house. I would go take my children to school. I would come home. I was signed off from work. I was feeling that awful. I'd completely stopped socialising. And I think even just the pride that I felt that I kept showing up somewhere new every day. Yeah. And I kept speaking to new people. That's a really nice feeling. I was like, this is working.
This is going somewhere. Yeah. And it's the baby steps and what you, like, you know, what we started with, you know, we were doing a lot of body weight stuff. We were working out also like the mechanics of your body and like for your physical health. And how have you felt that's changed? Because I know you're hella strong now, like, and how you feel about your joints. And like, I remember you giving me the example of you'd always roll your ankle.
Yeah.
And then was it the other week?
It just doesn't happen anymore.
You were like, do you know what I mean? But then it didn't feel the same way. Like, you didn't feel weak for just sort of tripping slightly, because, you know, accidents can happen and things like that. And that makes such a difference.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, all sorts of things like that. I was continuously dislocating thumbs, injuring shoulders, rolling my ankle. And I just thought I was really, really clumsy. I'm a bit clumsy. But I just thought I was really clumsy. But actually, with the strength that I've gained in the gym, those small accidents don't happen anymore, because I'm more aware and in control of what my body's doing.
Yes. And I think, like, being self-aware, physically and mentally, is huge, because when we're aware of how our body is moving, what it's doing, how it's functioning, we're a little bit more in tune, and also kinder to it as well. Like, you knew sort of, and you've spoken more about this in nutrition wise, like, you know, it's doing good. Now, when we first started, me and Faye did quite early-ish sessions. We did about 9 after you'd done the school run with the boys. And it was like, there were days when you're like, oh, this like feels really, really tough. And then we started to talk a little bit more about in sessions about the nutrition side of things. And then we tried a session in the afternoon. I think it was because something was on, or, you know, we shuffled it around, and it changed the game entirely. And you were like, I have so much energy and I don't know where the hell. And I was like, okay, well, let's try and figure this out. And it was food. And how you feel now with that, and how, you know, when you eat well and you feel energized for the gym, you come out of the gym and you're buzzing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And what did, like, I guess, like, how did that feel when you started to introduce and figure out how much good you were doing for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a gift to be able to give yourself. And you're with this body all the time. And I'm only now, you know, 37 years old. I'm learning how to read it so much better than I could before, you know. It's just a little machine. It needs food. It needs exercise. Sometimes it needs laughter, which we also have in our sessions.
Yeah, we have a great time. Sometimes I question whether I'm actually doing my job, which is awesome. And that is, the gym's your you time, right?
Yeah.
Like, you have a busy mum life and work. And how does that feel to you? What does your time mean to you?
Well, I mean, I value it so much, just being able to quiet the noise of all the other plates that I'm spinning. I'm a single parent. I've got a full-time job. You know, it's a lot. I've got a home to take care of. And that before would have made me say, I don't have time to do this. But actually, I do have time to be well. I do have time to be healthy. I do, you know, it's amazing making that time for myself.
Yeah, and special. And do you feel that, like, because I know everyone always uses the analogy, like, fill in your cup, you can then give to everyone else. And you can obviously probably feel really present with the boys. And like you say, you've recently, like, more like sat down and had breakfast with them, and it's just kind of having that pause time to then go and give yourself some love in the gym by you, with no one else, no boys, you know, no external factors, no work, and that just gives you space up here.
Exactly. And they're proud of me as well. They're proud of me for taking the time. They're proud that mum's becoming stronger. Like, they think I'm a superhero.
Oh, you guys do workouts. They do press-ups in the morning. They practice.
They don't let me get away with not doing it. So
and also that, like how good, do you remember when you were like, I'm never going to get these press-ups, like, they're not going to happen, and like, flying now? I'm
not going to prove that.
Drop down.
I mean, they are definitely improving, always evolving.
And it's probably nice to get them involved, because they love it as well.
Yeah, and also I want them to live healthy lives themselves. I want them to grow up to want to take care of their own bodies. So and I think it's working. I hope it's working.
Yeah, 100%. And it just feels good to move, and I think it's good for sort of that headspace, and give yourself that time. Like, don't run yourself into the ground. And I don't know, obviously I can't speak or vouch for this, but did you feel like you'd run yourself completely into the ground in all ways possible, prior obviously to everything?
And I had nothing to give. I had no energy to give to a workout. but I had no energy to give to a workout because I wasn't taking care of myself.
Yeah.
So, the more I made time for it, the healthier I became, the more I had energy to give to it. So,
and the habits are endless now, like how you feel when you've slept well, you're eating well, you've got your gym in, and then you can sort of, like you say, today you've got everything in today and you're having a little mini Christmas day with the boys.
Yes.
So it's, and it's just so important. I think people forget, like, the gym is good for you. Again, the gym isn't for everyone, but moving is. Moving anyone can do. And even if, like, you have weeks where things are tight, and if you can only get into the gym when we have our session, you then make sure you get out or go to the park or things like that. Is your you time, and I will preach it on a million podcasts if I have to. And we just want people to feel like they're not just sort of pouring out and just have nothing in them.
Yeah.
More than anything
I agree.
else.
I mean, for everybody, I'm not devaluing how important it is for men, but mums.
Yeah.
I just think that we give. Sometimes you just need to hold a little bit back for yourself so you can carry on.
Yeah. And would you say, like, as well as obviously that, what would be your biggest piece of advice for sort of people listening, maybe in the position that you were in, or maybe wanting to, like, they just feel a little bit empty or getting something started? Like, what would be your one thing? Because you tell me little bits of advice all the time. Like, it's, what to you changed?
I just think,
and what would you give to other people?
Just finding the bravery to do something that you've never done before is already such an amazing thing for your confidence, such an amazing thing for your self-belief, and you just can't imagine what you're going to be capable of. Just give yourself a year.
Yeah.
Now I'm a year in,
and now you're even excited for the next year. Yeah.
But just making an investment in yourself.
And not putting too much pressure on yourself as well, I guess, because you didn't do that. It was just like, okay, I'm just going to start this and just go with it.
And just see what I can create here, and I am creating something.
Yeah.
And it's not always easy. Sometimes the kids are sick, work's too crazy. But before, that lapse would have meant I never went back. Oh, you've messed it up. But now we take a week off, we move. Next week, we're going to do it again.
Things can be we can be poorly, and
or not. You can maybe not get the results that you think you're going to get, but you have to show up again tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be. Like we said the other day, it's going to be another hard day tomorrow as well. Like, that was hard, but we got another one. Let's go.
See you tomorrow and the next day.
Yeah, and
it's all hard.
Yeah, and that's what has been so great highlighting to sort of anyone out there. But yeah, it's been so great chatting, and obviously just highlighting having your you time and what, moving can do for your mind. And just remember that to sort of conclude more than anything else. But yeah, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much for having me.
And it's so nice to reach out, and I'd love to get or I will get more clients on board to talk about different journeys, and sort of we can have a couple more guests on as well, which is nice. And I think everyone comes from a different place, but I've got my little community and my team, and they're awesome. And there's a place for everyone in this, like, fitnessy journey. It's not just like one size fits all, because it's not. And everyone comes from different backgrounds, comes from different knowledges, and that can make an impact. But there's a place somewhere for you.
Definitely.
Which is awesome. But yeah, thank you so much for joining, guys.
Thank you.
And obviously we will catch you on the next episode. A big thank you for joining me on my channel and tuning in. Find me on Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, Amazon and YouTube, A Diary to Empower. Follow me on Instagram, m_power.fitness, and TikTok, m.ibert. See you on the next episode.